Hello, everybody. And that looks good. This is here. And this is going to be here. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is the time for another live show where we're going to talk about radio as usual. I have the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery running here. And we're going to, of course, have fun with anything radio today. Take the tablet here. Gonna check out everything, make sure everyone's there. That's good. And that's good. Okay. Apparently I'm live. And here we go. So, hi, everybody. Welcome aboard to this Shortwave radio show, the live show that we have twice a week on Wednesday for North America at 0 hours UTC. That's technically Thursday for a big part of the world. And we are here also on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's 20 hours Universal Time. And we have fun talking about radio, listening to radio signals and answering questions, and just with a great bunch of guys. So it's always fun to be here and do these little shows. Let me just move this here because I want to make sure I see the volume, the audio control, so that I know that when I'm talking, it works. I don't want to repeat that half hour of talking on my own. So cheers, everybody. Of course, vodka cranberry, the official drink. Nice to have all of you on board as usual. Of course, on this very gray, dark, rainy day where it's actually plus 9 degrees Celsius. So we're in the 40s, almost going into the 50s actually. So it's kind of warm. And when I look at what's going to happen this week, we're going to have kind of a warm spell here for the next couple of weeks. They're talking of temperatures that will be more like plus 10, 11 at some point. So with temperatures like that, chances of a white Christmas are getting a little far away right now here in Montreal. And there's really not a lot of snow on the ground, so it's probably all going to be melted by the end of next week. So I guess it's going to be a little quiet with that and the weather-wise. And every time it's supposed to have, we're supposed to have something, is going to be rain most of the time, like today, raining in a gray day today. So my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And of course, I am also Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India, which is my ham radio call sign for this week. I've had my ham license for those that have not yet known the news. So yes, I will be checking out the possibility of actually, what I want to do tomorrow is maybe go in to the electronic surplus store not far from here and get some wire to check out how I could put up some form of a antenna in my backyard that maybe could be used for, if it works well, my HF side of things with my Yaesu FT450. So we're going to be checking that out for sure. Um, we have a beautiful chat room here where there's wonderful people where you can, feel welcome, be happy, and ask questions without, everybody's going to be happy to be here and answer any questions if possible. And of course, it's a great place with really amazing people that are here to just have fun. A bunch of guys that we gather together with these live shows and just are happy to be together, tuning to bands, talking radio. And when this is over, there's a Facebook group which is the same name as this channel, official SWL channel Facebook group. And there, well, you can continue chatting, you can continue posting and having fun with others and talk about radio. A great group with more than 2,000 members. And it's a lot of fun to be here and do this for sure. So we have Matt, MDK2. Nice to have you here from cold Denver. Temperature around 3 Celsius, 37 Fahrenheit. And got the first official snowfall yesterday. Wow. James Farley, nice to have you here from New Jersey. We have Bobby Burgess, WA5107 SWL in Morgan City, Louisiana. Arthur's Autocrafter's Kitchen from Massachusetts. Debating if I should buy The Last WRTH. Still a ton of money for a book. Yeah, look, the thing is, it's the last one for now. But as we were discussing a little bit, me and Sheldon, is that it seems that the publisher is stopping the release of the World Radio TV Handbook. Who knows what could happen? Maybe some other publisher could take the place and have it continue. I don't know. But for now, technically, it is the last one for the World Radio TV Handbook after 76 years. A lot of people have it wrong because I saw a lot of posting of, after 24 years. No. WRTH Publishing have been there for 24 years publishing the book. But before that, it existed. The 2022 version is the 76th anniversary version. Last year's book was it's 75 years. So it's been on for 76 years now. But it's sad and to see it go away. I'm not sure I'm going to buy one because I have the one 2021, and it's not a book that I go to much. I don't really go much in that book for anything. I do almost everything on the internet. So, for a shortwave listener, it's more or less useful. It's not a book, you don't buy that book for the schedules. You buy that book for what it is, as a reference for broadcasting and broadcasters. And for that, it is an amazing book, for sure. Blind Picker, nice to have you on board from Connecticut. Nice to have you here, Rob, W0RAB. And it's 53 and raining. Haluk, nice to have you here from Oakville, Ontario. And I've got a few viewers from Turkey. Absolutely. Rufus, nice to have you here from the Laurentian Valley, Ontario. Gary 24 fan, nice to have you on board from Northern Maine. What else do we have? What else do we have? Arthur's Other Crafters Kitchen, Passport, I miss much more. Yeah, well, you know what? Arthur's Other Crafters, the Passport to World Band Radio was much more oriented towards the shortwave listener, actually. It had the blue pages, which were very useful in times when we didn't really have a lot of schedules. and a lot of radio reviews. It was much more of a book that was interesting for any shortwave listener out there. The World Radio TV Handbook is, as you know, it's oriented towards broadcasters, broadcasting, and broadcasting industry. For what it is, it's amazing. I mean, the information is in there is great, but it's not much of a shortwave listener's book in a sense. But anybody that QSLs a lot, anybody that wants to have information on contact and transmitter sites and who are the broadcasters out there, it's very complete and it's very accurate. The research done to have that book actually published is pretty amazing. But it is not necessarily shortwave listening friendly. It's a different style of book. It's not like Passport. I also miss Passport. I find it sad that the World Radio TV Handbook does not continue, but I also probably miss much more the Passport to World Band Radio than what the World Radio TV Handbook. But it is sad that it actually um, is going away. As a reference book, it was quite amazing. Um, and all books are expensive today. Whatever book you buy, pretty much all the books today are very expensive. Paper books are now very, very expensive compared to the past. And I mean, it's a reference book that if you want to have information like that, it's a reference book that is indeed very, very good and accurate for what it is. And like I said, it's not for everybody, though. Dwight, nice to have you on board from Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. WA4532SWL. Neil, nice to have you here from the UK, M0CJM. What could have been nice is if, they maybe could have done an electronics version. Sorry, guys, an electronics version of an ebook, WRTH. And indeed, today's books are expensive, and whatever book you buy today is expensive on paper. I think that is hurting the industry also at the same time, because a lot of people start to find that it's maybe not in their budget to buy one of those. A Passport to World Band Radio today would probably be very expensive also. Prices have really gone up. What else do we have? Art is other crafter's kitchen. I think World Radio TV Handbook has its place and had its place and always had, because of what it is, the information in it. Anybody in the industry of broadcasting probably has wants one of those because of the information. Passport is, what I'll and this is my impression and when I look at the World Radio TV Handbook versus Passport, because you're saying that his opinion is that World Radio TV Handbook should have gone out print 20, 25, 30 years ago, and Passport should still be in print. The thing is Passport is a much easier book to replace with the internet, and that's what we pretty much do. So many reviews of radios now on the internet. We can see the reviews of pretty much any radio that exists on the internet. That was one of the primary things in Passport, a lot of radio reviews. Also, the schedules, same thing. We have much better updated schedules on the internet today. which is also something that is Passport to World Band Radio. So when you look at Passport, Passport is a book that is easily replaced by all the things that we have on the internet now. World Radio TV Handbook isn't as the internet doesn't replace it as well. There are so many broadcasters that it's difficult to get information on them on the internet, but that there's detailed information of all of them in the World Radio TV Handbook. So it's not as easily replaced, even though some of the info is on the web. A lot of what's in there is difficult to find on the web. So it's not as easily replaced by the internet as Passport is. So we got to remember that also, which means that it's easier to, people will look at, for example, if there'd be a 2021 edition of Passport to World Band Radio, it might be a more difficult sell because all of that information is easily found on the web. And so it's more difficult to justify buying a book like that. Vince, salut. Nice to have you on board. And Dwayne, nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Al, nice to have you here from rainy Westport, Massachusetts. We have what else do we have? Christian Marcoux. Yep, long time no see. Always nice to see you. Today was the CIDX, Canadian International DX Club Zoom meeting, monthly Zoom meeting. So always nice to see everybody. What else do we have? Nora, nice to have you on board. Neil, maybe the World Radio TV Handbook go online database format with subscription. Yeah, for now, there's really, the website's going to stay there. They did say they're going to maintain the World Radio TV Handbook website for a few years. So that means there's probably going to be some information in there that we're going to be checking out. Nick Sharp, nice to have you on board from England. Says no Christmas parties here. David, KJ4CMY, nice to have you on board from warm and humid central Georgia. Expecting the storm that hit the Midwest, but not so intense. Matt says World Radio TV Handbook probably should have gone online back then if they were a continually updated resource like EIBI and had that info. All that info, they'd be only schedule anyone would need. Definitely there's a place on the internet for some database of all the information in there for sure. Bonjour PLF Radio, j'espère que tu vas bien depuis Lyon en France et que la température est au moins assez intéressante pour faire un peu de radio à l'extérieur ou non. J'espère qu'il ne fait pas trop froid. Ici, c'est de la pluie et c'est beaucoup plus doux. C'était froid cette semaine, mais c'est beaucoup plus doux que la normale. Nice to have you on board, PLF Radio. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you on board from Winsville, Missouri. WA0113SWL. And saying hello to Paul the cat. And Kevin, nice to have you on board. Where are you located? John Beckham, nice to have you here from Northeast Florida. Andy New, nice to have you on board. M83007SWL. Avid tea drinker, nice to have you here. Tech guy, nice to have you here. Jim's Radio Check, nice to have you on board. N6RLS from Chile, Berkeley, California. Nice to have you here. It was nice to have you on the CIDX Zoom meeting also. Michael Langer, nice to have you on board. He's got noise in Illinois. What else do we have? Randall Klons, nice to have you here from Northeast Illinois. Jim's Radio Check. After those nasty tornadoes last night, I recommend you don't have a emergency radio to get one. They come in handy. I'm sure most of you have one though. Yeah, it's important to have emergency radios. There's even a big city and a place where it's more quiet, like here in Montreal. We're we don't have that much bad weather in general, but we do have very big thunderstorms in the summertime, and um, we have the winter storms. But here winter storm is like a dusting of snow. We just go through it. But the ice storm of '98 kind of reminds us that we should have a definitely all should have, even in a big city, a radio to go to when something happens, because it's definitely a lot of you never know when you might need one. And it's not because you're a big city that an emergency cannot happen and power goes out. um, Joe Rodman, nice to have you on board. We have Safety, nice to have you here from Turkey. Neil says, I think Jill needs a 70-inch screen on the wall behind with SDR console on it. Thank you very much, Pierre Frajo, for the congratulations for the ham operator. John Beckham says the weather in Florida is rather warm for this time of year as well. G-Man, nice to have you here from Southwest Michigan, K8WNF. Hammock Dweller, nice to have you on board, and thank you for the congrats on the ham license. Matt says, in a funny coincidence, Dave Kassler, KE0OG, just posted a video about setting up a second story shack. I don't know if you follow him regularly, but I recommend that you do. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Shortwave radio test. Nice to have you here from Turkey. There's other crafters kitchens got his drink of choice today is hazelnut coffee flavored with French vanilla cream. Cool. That sounds pretty good. David KJ4CMY raspberry lemonade. Cool. Avid tea drinker, Gold Peak sweet tea. Neil, maybe WRTH publishers are just trying to push sales up this year, then come back. And since months saying 2022 is such a success, we decided to continue. The the thing about the World Radio TV Handbook is, I believe the decision was taken after they have published. So, from what I understand, is that there's going to be the same amount available, but probably a lot more people wanting one. So if you do want one, I think you should not wait and order one now, because they might actually be difficult to find in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So we'll see. Anyways, it'd be fun if somebody else would take the publishing and decide, yeah, then we're going to continue it. Paulo Pinto, CT1 ETE, nice to have you here from North Portugal. Frank from the Netherlands, nice to have you on board. In 6RLS, maybe a lot of people will snap up the last World Radio TV Handbook and sales will drive the energy for to find a new publisher. Yeah, it's possible. Others autocrafters, Gel, don't convince me now to buy one. Still a lot of money. Tarek, nice to have you on board from Cairo, Egypt. Nice to have you here. Like I said, Arthur is it's a, for what it is an amazing book. But I'm not necessarily going to buy one, even though it's the last. I do have the 2021 one. I have the 20. I bought it 2 years in a row, 2020, 2021 versions. Dave in Melbourne, nice to have you on board. We have Tarek says, last week he was interviewed by the Arabic section of the NHK special show for the new year 2022. That is cool. Avid Tea Drinker says, Passport to World Band Radio was one of the best shortwave books out there. I bought it every year religiously. I and in the 90s, I probably bought both World Radio TV Handbook and Passport every year until maybe the early 2000s. Then in the early 2000s, I continued buying the Passport every year until it stopped, which I think is 2009. Um, the World Radio TV Handbook has been more of a thing that a book that I would buy like every 2 or 3 years. It's not. I would not buy the World Radio TV Handbook every year. I would kind of buy one every 2 or 3 years just to have an updated um, book with information on it. Uh, Neil, all I can hear on 80 meter tonight is local nasty cheap Christmas lights at S10 strength. That's sad. That's what we were talking about. Like my friend Eric, which is fast load in the chat room, has more noise than usual, and that's what we were talking about the other day about how it's possible that Christmas lights from a neighbor is causing noise. Unfortunately, some of these, especially the ones that have these patterns, are crazy. That's why I always buy every time I bought Christmas lights. Most of the time, I still go and buy the incandescent ones. And I actually there was a special at one in the store, and they had sets of incandescents, little lights, and like the one I have here in the window that you might see, like that. The ones that are on the frame here. This is incandescent. These are 100 lights sets, and what I do is they were like even lower than half price. So I bought I bought like 5 or 6 sets, even though I needed only one, because I thought, well, they're slowly going away, and we're not having, every year we have less and less of them in the stores, and they're replaced by the LED ones all the time. So I thought, well, if I'm going to keep the 5 other ones in the box, which is going to give me the possibility to have incandescent lights that do not make any noise for time to come, because these are great. They're the only, they work because they're all in series, so the bulbs actually don't need any transformers or anything. There's no noise coming out of these. It's great for that. The LED ones, some are really good, but some are very noisy, especially when they have patterns, when they blink, and when they have all sorts of weird patterns. I have one set like that here, and I always joke to everybody that basically you we can have I can tell what pattern it's actually doing by the type of buzzing that it's doing on the radio. Ah, God. John Ritson, nice to have you here from the UK, 2E0JGR. Thank you very much for the congrats. Jeff Williams, nice to have you on board from Southwest Cornwall. And what else do we have? WF7I Homebrew, Joel, if the net gets together tonight, plan on recording it and posting on my YouTube channel for the others to replay. So cool. I'm next week maybe. I have no idea if it's going to work well. I have an idea of an antenna for the backyard that I want to put up, and the only thing is, for that HF setup, I'll probably have to set up, in the backyard, in the kitchen with the HF, the FT450. But I'm hoping that what I'm going to set up might be good enough to actually do a little bit of HF on the band. So I'm going to cross my fingers. It'd be a lot of fun if I could join and do a few HF contacts. And I had my first US contact, for those that wonder, because what happened is I So on Tuesday night I had after it was official that I was a ham, I had my call sign. I had a few contacts with my friend Fastload, and we tried a few repeaters, and then of course Paul, that is in SX Junction, that comes in the live shows regularly. Um, Wanted to meet up maybe next week on Tuesday, which I can't. I unfortunately totally forgot that Tuesday is I have a Christmas meetup with some friends. So basically, we were supposed to get on the Covey Hill repeater, which is just across the border, and there's a lot of U.S. hams on that repeater. So in order to see if I could actually work the repeater, I just went on the repeater and just gave my call sign. And I actually had my first contact with a U.S. ham on the Covey Hill repeater. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of fun and fun to see the distance, and especially the fact that just with a little handy talkie, being able to talk through a repeater that's about 50 kilometers away from here, and it was kind of cool. So I had my first U.S. ham contact, and of course I had my first contact here with my friend Fastlab. So that's kind of cool. So now, well, if I can go and get some wire tomorrow and all of that, it's going to be setup time, and I'm going to try to set up some form. It will be kind of a inverted V type antenna, but what's the thing is, it's not going to be an inverted V that's vertical. It's going to have an angle, which I would guess will give it some kind of, it's going to change its properties. That's for sure. But anyways, I have to try something that I can set up easily, and that would be easy for me to set up. So there's something like that I'm going to try to set up for ham contacts on HF, and hopefully with the antenna tuner that is within the FT450, it might tune it, good enough on some bands to maybe have a bit of contacts here. Neil, yeah, printed books with schedules is a bit out of date. Absolutely, that's why the internet is now amazing, because we have all of that information, and that information is up to date, which is really really nice. And by the way, for as we were talking about the net, 3817 kilohertz plus or minus 5 kilohertz is the official SWL channel net that's going on the 80 meters tonight at 0 UTC. So that's going to be something to check out. I'm going to try to tune in also and see if I can get you guys tonight. Jeff King, nice to have you here from Jacksonville, Florida, 81 Fahrenheit. Meta Lunar, what's your favorite source for shortwave schedules? Well, I'm a list guy, so I actually like to use the eibispace.de website, which is a lot of very accurate, and there's a lot of information, including utility. There's something that is the AOKI list, which is kind of nice also for information about what you're listening on the bands. And of course, depends on what you want. Some people, have a hard time because those two lists, AOKI and EIBI, have one major problem, and it's the fact that you have to understand the abbreviations and how it's, the way it is not always clear, and you have a lot of people have a hard time understanding exactly what they're listening to and what it is. So there's of course short-wave.info. That is a website that a lot of people go to because it has the schedules. It has a map that shows you where the transmitter is, and there's more kind of of kind of, it's clearer for everybody to really notice and understand what it's all about and what station they're listening to and so on. So what else do we have? What else do we have? Yeah, well, that's what I was saying a little bit to Arthur. I think Passport appeals more to the shortwave listener, has a publication, and especially back then, have like, as you know, the World Radio TV Handbook appeals more for the broadcasting side of the information. Um, Ali says, especially when the sources are scattered, if there was one website which did it all, it would be great. Yeah. Dwight, I lucked out finding a 2014 World Radio TV handbook at a secondhand bookstore in Newport, uh, Virginia last year. Matt says, is all that info easy to find on the web? I mean, shortwave schedules are, but QSL info is another matter. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The information about World Radio TV Handbook, is that's the thing about WRTH. It's a difficult one to. It's really a difficult one to. There's a lot of the information that is actually difficult to find on the internet. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, I have no problem. WF7 Brew. You can share your channel. Post the link to your channel if you want on the group. I have no problem with that. I'll be checking it out also. Nick Sharp. Yep, there's that at 23 hours Universal Time today starts the 100th anniversary celebration of the first transatlantic radio transmission of a message by amateur radio. So it starts at 23 Universal Time. That one's going to be a tough one for a lot of people. I'm hoping that I might be able to get it. 1821 kilohertz CW or Morse code, and every 15 minutes, starting at 23 UTC, they're going to be rebroadcasting the call sign and the message in CW, and they're going to go on from 23 UTC all the way to 20 04 UTC at 11 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be something I'm going to set a radio, and even if I hear it, I'm going to probably do a video on on receiving it on 160 meters. It's possible. It's possible that it's going to be heard here because it's not that far away, and I'm hoping that I'll be getting it because it's broadcast from. I don't remember the exact place where it is transmitted from. Was it Massachusetts or somewhere in the Northeast, anyways? So there's a possibility that I'm going to get it here. But that could be a challenge for a lot of people. What's going to help? The CW Morse code is definitely going to help. DVD Exter, last World Radio TV handbook I bought was in 2000. So after seeing your video yesterday, I ordered one. Cool. Mad Radio DXer from the UK. Nice to have you here. Nick Sharp, are the handbands on your side full of amateurs offering support for Kentucky and neighboring states after the massive tornadoes? Well, there's a lot of things happening. I haven't done a lot of listening on the bands, but I know that with the tornadoes and everything, there must be some emergency nets operating to help out for sure in these places, in the community, and so on. What else do we have? Curtis Gump, what is the best book for listing AM, FM, TV stations format, frequencies, call letters, update books? Got the NRC AM logbook, great book. Looking for a good book for FM and TV bands. I don't really know how where for FM and TV. I do believe I remember one for FM. Um, didn't the National Radio Club have one for FM at one point? I thought they had. I know they have the one for the AM. I thought they had one also for FM. One thing for sure for listings of FM stations, World Radio TV Handbook does have a lot of information on that. But as for listing itself, one of the things you could try, Curtis, and I do that all the time for the AM side. I'm sure on FM it must be the same. Wikipedia seems to be very, very good and up to date on radio stations that are on the air and their formats. So, I'm going to try something here, by the way. Just before I forget, I'm going to check the email. I haven't checked the email. I'm going to check it out right now. We have on email Elizabeth saying hello from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And she says hello to everybody. And she's listening to the show as usual and tuning her Kenwood R5000. So hello there, Elizabeth. And we have Richard Lemke that says a big cold snap next week. And he's in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. So welcome aboard, Richard. It was nice to see you also at the CIDX Zoom meeting today. So there we go. Before I forgot. What else do we have? David McCormick, another one bites the dust. Yeah. The World Radio TV Handbook, Passport to World Band Radio, PopCom monitoring times. Yeah, Spectrum Monitor is good. Spectrum Monitor is a good replacement in an electronic format for. It really, really has the feel of monitoring times. But it goes with the hobby. It goes with the fact that there's less people probably in the hobby than there used to be in the past, and then let's not forget for publications themselves. For publications themselves, I think the internet is a big, big competition because why did we buy these publications in the past? Well, it was for all the information we could get out of them. But now we are getting everything on the internet for a lot of these publications. The internet is definitely a killer. I say it all the time that I don't think shortwave has declined because of the internet, but publications are hurt by the internet because we replace our habits of, hey, why should I buy a subscription to this, or why should I buy this book when I get that information on the internet? So that's much more of a competition for publications. With that said, like I was saying, World Radio TV Handbook information is more difficult to find on the internet. Some of it's there, but not all of it. And for what it is, it definitely is an amazing book. JGH says JH, Wisconsin on board for a little. Nice to have you on board. Sunny and highs of the 50s to 60s next week. PLF Radio, 1 Celsius now, and Festival Lights in Lyon. Oh, cool. Check that out. Brett Bell, nice to have you here from the UK. First time watching live. Found you as I bought a St. Jean ATS 909X2 and saw some tips. Thanks loads. Cool. And more coming. I'm going to take it out again and make more videos with it. PLF Radio, can you tell again or write in the chat your ham call sign? Yeah, Victor Echo 2 Zulu India, VE2ZZI or ZZI, depending on you're Canadian or American. WF7I Homebrew, yeah, no problem. Post the link. Absolutely, I have no problem with that. You can post it in the Facebook group also. No problem. No problem at all. When I talk on the Facebook group and everything is, I don't mind at all people that share their YouTube channel at all. What I got a few people that were mad at my post this week and came back to me, including a couple that just left the group. And it's like, look, I'm not saying not. I don't want you to post your Facebook group, your YouTube, your YouTube channel. But the only thing I was saying is, I like it when you just ask before. Just like, would you mind if I'm going to say yes, you know? But where I have more of a problem is not the viewers posting their YouTube channel. That's okay, because if you're in the group and you have a YouTube channel, I have no problem you advertising it there, saying, hey, I got a radio channel too, and this is my channel. I have no problem with that. Where I have more of a problem, and that's where I removed a few posts, is, oh, look at that guy's YouTube channel. It's like, okay, posting your own YouTube channel is one thing. Posting somebody else's YouTube channel about radio, can you just ask for permission, please? Because there are a few YouTube channels that are radio related that I got a little brush with, and it's like, I don't want you to advertise that guy. Okay. It's fine that you like him. It's fine that you're there. I have no problem with that. But just, just ask. This is the only thing I don't think it's such a problem. I'm just telling everybody, you could just politely ask, hey, is it okay if I do this? 99.9% of anybody asking for something, my answer is going to be yes anyways. I think it's just courtesy. It's like going into somebody's home. Are you going to invite your neighbor? Oh, look, I invited my neighbor. Look, I invited you. You could have just said, is it okay if I bring my neighbor? It's the same thing. Think of the Facebook group as being kind of my home, and you're all invited. You're all invited in there. So you're all invited in my home. It's just, you could just, that's why there are things like, for example, when people are like, oh, that guy should be in this group, or that guy's like, it's so easy to just tell any of your friends that are radio related, hey, this group is great. You should ask to get in. I don't like people that are like, oh, that guy needs to be in here. No. If that guy wants to be in here, tell him this exists and tell him to ask for to get in. If that person does not on his own take the time to want to be in the group, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be in the group. If you want to be in the group, you're going to ask to be in the group, and you'll be gladly and we'll be happy to have you join in. Same thing for the questions. There's 2 radio questions, and there's the agreement that just, you agree with. Now, the agreement, a lot of people are not like, I agree to the rules. I don't, I'm not going to go crazy over the fact that you didn't answer that one. But come on, I'm asking you 2 simple questions. What radio you use, how often you listen. If you don't answer any of those, you're not getting in. I don't care. I'm sorry, but is it that difficult to answer a couple of questions? And they're so simple questions too, that if you don't take the time to say, oh, I'm using this radio and I listen, a couple of times a week. Come on. You want me to accept you in a group when you can't even answer 2 simple questions? Please. Okay. It's just simple, and that partly does, is the reason why the group is so clean. I've been on many other groups too. I get a lot of you that have been on Facebook groups. And one of the things that we all agree on is that there's a lot of groups that, man, there's so much crap going on. We have this group, the official SWL group, that is very clean and very nice. And the reason is because I have these rules and that they are important to follow. It prevents idiots from getting in and trashing the group. I don't want my group to look like those other groups where there's a lot of crap going on. I want my group to be clean, and that's what we have. We have moderators also that help out, and we want to keep it that way. So simple rules, simple rules. It's not I don't think it's asking that much. So, anyways, of course, at WF7 Ion Brew, you can post. You can post the Facebook group. You can post a link here if you want in the chat. No problem at all. No problem. Canadian Radio TV guy, nice to have you here for Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. Mike WDX50, nice to have you on board. Chris66 from Kentucky, nice to have you here. We used our weather radio last night. We were spared. Folks in the western part of the state had it rough. Yeah, I saw when I woke up I woke up this morning. I was looking at the news. It's like, wow, weather has been really rough in the U.S. with all the tornadoes everywhere. Jerome's, nice to have you on board from Poland. David Exer says, whoops, I hate it when it jumps down like that. So, okay. TVDXR went back and watched the rest of your Wednesday live stream yesterday. You're going to be a fantastic ham operator. Looking forward to QSOs with you on HF. Yeah, I think I will. And actually, that's what Dave, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Bravo, who actually gave me it was my examiner. He actually looked at my channel and he said, I think you have a lot to bring to the ham radio hobby with what I've seen. And I hope to add a lot to the ham hobby. And maybe to have some of you become hams, or some of you that might have been hams, let your ham ticket go and maybe want to get back now. Art, nice to have you on board. K2ADC from New Jersey. We have Andy New says, drink tonight is Fair Trade Chardonnay. Treasure my old copies of Passport and World Radio TV Handbook. Love the equipment and reviews. That was the big thing in Passport. I don't know how many times I would go through all the little reviews of each portable, looking at what's good, which ones are good or not. So, Two Broke Tim, nice to have you here. Yeah, Trailer Park Tornado Magnets. Yeah. You know what? I have stopped drinking beer for a simple reason, is that I don't know why, but lately it's been a little, I have a kind of, I don't know. It's like if my body's saying, it just doesn't go in. I take a few sips and it's like, I don't feel like drinking that. It's, maybe I drank too much beer in my life. I don't know. So I'd rather have a little something like this instead now, and than beer. It's not all beer. There are beers that I have no problem. I can still take a beer and have. It's okay, but I don't know. It's kind of my own body's just saying like, no, nah, don't drink that. And the other thing also is if you drink, I've noticed over the years, and actually it was confirmed, there was a Mythbusters episode about this where they were talking, when you drink beer, if you drink one too many beers compared to one too many vodka drinks, you feel much more, the hangover is worse in the morning with beers than it is with something like this also. So it's kind of interesting. Eric Cottrell, bonjour, hi, nice to have you on board. And says overcast with rain here, and it's 61 Fahrenheit in Boston. Dr. Sisup, hello, nice to have you on board. For those in California, KNX Los Angeles 1070 AM went all FM now on 97.1, and soon AM 1070 will go off the air. So, thank you, Hart, for the congrats on the certification. Wall Nature Southwest. Anyone familiar with the Xegoons G90? Yeah, a few people have that one. I know a lot of people find it really, really nice. Eric says Covey Hill has excellent coverage. I could access it from Burlington, Vermont area. It does. And I was amazed that with 5 watts on a little handy talkie inside my home, I could actually go through the Covey Hill repeater. I'm not yet on QRZCQ, but I am on QRZ.com. If you go and type VE2ZZI, I did a very small page, temporary page that I'll add information to it and all of that. What else do we have? John Beckham says, I am always listening to 5990 nightly, as it seems to have the feel of listening to shortwave radio back in the 70s and 80s. I guess that is because propagation on this frequency is always good. Chris G7VEO, nice to have you on board. Vahan Yazarian, nice to have you on board. Says tornadoes are bad news. We had a storm cellar that also stored canned fruit. Dan says, bonjour, everyone. Many signals go your way. V2ZZI. I've ever looked at end-fed dipoles for the backyard. That is definitely one idea that I did look at in end-fed dipole also. Absolutely. So anyways, we'll be doing a few tests, and I'm going to get a lot of wire to make a lot of different tests and try, like I said, my biggest problem, and I think that's going to be my challenge, is not necessarily transmitting. Will be the reception because of the noise, a high noise level. So Dan is in a windy Ohio and AWJZ. Yep, absolutely. PLF Radio, the shortwave schedule app for mobile is also very, very good. Absolutely. David, KJ4CMY, yep. The shortwave schedules on the internet is easy to update, absolutely. And they're always very accurate. So, going popular communications, I would say, is probably what you're asking. Nope. But if you guys go to World, what is the website? Just going to go, I'm going to open it up here. And I will give you the links, guys. For those that don't know, there's a fantastic website, which is worldradiohistory.com, where you can get pretty much all the books that were from the past, the magazines from the past. You have every monitoring times, every popular communications, and so many. You've got thousands of publications, including the ones that I like the most, going through publications from the past and seeing, radio books from the 50s and the 40s. So go here, and you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Worldradiohistory.com. You will have tons of publications to go through. And if you want to have the old popcoms and the monitoring times, they're all there. They're all there. Neil says, once Jill gets on the HF, there will be a pileup. I will actually do some live streaming at some point, making contacts so that you guys can follow along, and for those hams out there, also try to contact me. Santa Faro says, following along the 2HF Plus Discovery, one with MLA30 and one with unamplified U-loop. And chocolate milk grilled cheese sandwich. Cool. Sounds great. Wall Nature Southwest. Anyone know why I might have high-pitched interference over my waterfall signals, which is blocking out the audio? Sarmet, nice to have you on board from Ukraine. US8IIN. Big Dalmage, there was the FM Atlas by Bruce Elving, but I believe he has passed away. Okay. Because I remember there was one FM, and I think that's the thing. The FM Atlas is what I was thinking about. WSOI Homebrew says there were a few comments on the Facebook group about net times and frequencies. Some would like an earlier time, and some would like 40-meter band due to better antennas on that band. Any thoughts? An idea that I was that could come up for me is, why not, if you can, do the live do the net while the show is playing. That could be an idea. And we could try to tune in. Everybody would be able to tune you guys in or try. And since it's earlier, like for example, it's 21 UT now. On Saturday it could be if it's okay with most people for the time, it could be like a 21 UT net 1 hour after the show starts. It gives the time for us to give out the frequency, saying, in 1 hour the net's going to be there. And at that time also, it probably would make it easier on 40 meters at 21 UT than 40 meters at 0 UT, especially now that it's dead of winter pretty much. 40 meters at for contacts in like in the US, for example, isn't as good in at 0 UT than it would be at. It could be a good one at 21. It would even give a chance maybe to some European hams to maybe even check in. So I don't know, just an idea like that. How about having it while the show is going on? And like I said, it could be at 20 UT while the show starts, but it could also be like the show starts at 20 and an hour later you guys start the net, and it gives us the time to prepare and tell everybody where the net is. So that's just suggestion. Of course, that also means that while you're operating, you're not watching the live show. So maybe you don't want to do it while the show's going on. Also, that could be something that maybe you don't want to do. So, and if you do the net at like 0 UT, 80 meters is probably the best bet at this time. And in summer, 40 meters would probably be really good at 0 UT. Better than now, at least. So I don't know. Suggestions. And check it out. If people are asking, hey, could we have the net earlier and stuff like that? Why not? Just try to find a compromise. And remember that we have an audience that's international. And like I said, doing it a little earlier might actually favor having contacts from Europe, especially on 40 meters. It will be easier for Europeans to contact and have a contact towards the US and North America. Oh yeah, radiolocator.com. That's a great site. For a long time I haven't visited that site. Everybody saying hello to Elizabeth. What else do we have? Dr. Sissa, WWV CHU check time. Let's check it out. Here. Okay. I'm going to go here. You get a hold. I sprained my arm trying to reach for something in the fridge. That's when you're getting older. Okay, let's try CHU first of all at 3.330. So we have 3330. 3330 for CHU. And 7850. Nope. 14670. Nope. Now, WWV, 25 megahertz. Nope. 20 megahertz. Nope. 15 megahertz. Yeah, it's there, but it's in the noise. In the noise on 15. 10 is better. And then 5. I see a little, barely see it on the waterfall. And of course, 2.5, we forget it. It's still too early for that. Yeah. Yeah, there could be some local interference while nature, absolutely. What else do we have? Brad says hello, Elizabeth from Minnesota. David in Barcelona, nice to have you on board. EA3IEK, EA4998, nice to have you on board. And we'll maybe at some point have a contact, David, from Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. We have, let's go down here. What else do we have? Okay, what else do we have? Let me just go down. Michael Tuffin, Larball. Carl Icon, 100th anniversary CW event is broadcasting from Connecticut. Yeah, it's Connecticut again. It was somewhere in the Northeast, but I didn't remember which one, which state it was from. Sunwave. Amazon warehouse got hit by a tornado last night. Wow. Man Reader DX regarding World Radio TV Handbook. If prices are going up for worldwide delivery due to delivery and skills shortage issue, would another publisher take it on? I don't think so, but my opinion. It all depends on how many. The idea behind this is it all depends on how many are they selling each year. I'd be curious to know how many of them are they selling each year. It's a very, very niche publication. Yes, so hi, on Bruce says, I think what sometimes was inappropriate were newcomers to your group that suddenly just started trying to sell a product or endlessly promoting themselves. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. If you're a regular on the Facebook group and you just, post all sorts of things and post, videos of your YouTube channel for stuff that you're listening to, absolutely, there's no problem there. The problem is, and it's something that I never personally really did much. It's like people trying to use your popularity to boost their popularity. And, I never, as a YouTuber, ever did that, going on some place that I don't participate and at least have something to say and start, posting links to my YouTube channel all the time. I find that to be kind of a cheap shot. It's like, come on, guys. That's more of a trolling than anything else, actually. And for a lot of people, they don't understand that if you want to be popular on YouTube, for example, what is going to be important is content. The content makes you popular. The content, because people like it, is what makes you popular. So, Michael Tuffin, I live in a condo. Will I get better reception if I just run a copper wire out my window? There's chances that, yes, it might improve quite a lot. Usually indoor, especially in condos and in apartments, it's more difficult. Neil says, I have come quite strict on the membership questions in the agreement. I had 3 this week that didn't answer the question, so I say no. One thing that's weird about the questions, I noticed that sometimes the answers to the questions take an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours before they show up. So what I do is, and my suggestion to every moderator, when you see one come in and the answers are not there, but it's been there, the request is only like 30 minutes old, just do nothing and leave it there for a while. Come back later, and if after a couple of hours there's still no answers to the questions, nope, you're not in. It's so easy. It's so easy to answer 2 damn little radio questions. Matt says, in our group, we asked that nobody invite people due to someone who literally invited hundreds. So we put up the question and banned that guy. We give 24 hours for an answer, and sometimes invitees do. It's like I always say, if you want to be part of the group, you're going to ask yourself. I always that it's as simple as that. I always tell people, just tell your friend this is a cool radio group and let him decide if he's going to take the time to actually want to join. I don't, nope. I don't like invitation. If you invite people, nope, doesn't work like that. Have them do it on their own. That means the effort that they give out to actually ask to join the group means they wanted to join the group. Because a lot of them are like, well, I want to invite that guy. No, it doesn't work like that. Sid, good evening. Nice to have you on board. It was nice to see you playing with your old favorite Texan PL600. But alas, the XH data D808 pulls into 182 signal so good. And, more modern radio and definitely nice XH data. What else do we have? WF7I Homebrew says, yep, I abandoned all other internet groups years ago because of poor moderation and rampant free speech. Too much crap, and it just wasn't fun when so many were bickering and trolling. Yep. VT Radio, Paul AA1SU, checking in northern Vermont here, where 10 meters is dead, has a doornail. Nice to have you on board, Paul. And just wanted to mention, in case you can get it here, but I'm going to send you the email also to tell you. I totally forgot, but on Tuesday, where we actually are supposed to meet up on the Covey Hill repeater, I have a Christmas dinner with friends. And I totally forgot that it was on that day. So if you want to do it on another night next week, let me know. David McCormick, it's Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. John Beckham, your Shortwave Club is one of the best groups that I have ever been a part of, indeed, and it's is both entertaining and informative. Yep. So it was so VT Radio. If you can, we can reschedule that to either Monday, Thursday. It can't be on Wednesday because of the live show. So it would be like if we could do it either Monday, Thursday, or Friday night. That would work out, or through the weekend at some point. Kimberly K6YYL, nice to have you on board. I'm here. There goes the neighborhood. Jetcrafter, nice to have you on board from icy and rainy southern Maine. Michael Duffin says, was CBR back in the 70s. Been meaning to get a shortwave receiver for decades. Finally got around to it. Cool. Cool. Mad Max, nice to have you on board from Ohio. Yeah, absolutely. Neil says, I guess the local Christmas lights have turned off as a lot of QRM seems to have died off. So, what do you do? Dr. Sisop, if your US ham ticket expired, all you have to do is pay the renewal fee, no test required. Here it was, and there are a lot of places like that also, that if it expires, there's a lot of places you have to repass your test. Here it used to be like that before. When it expired, you were given, I think, a few years, like, that you could just leave it expired. And after a certain amount of time, it would just, you would lose your license. That's what had happened to my sister. She had not renewed, and there was a deadline. I don't remember how much time it was, but there was a deadline that after that amount of time, you actually lose it and you will need to pass a test again. But now, now that's not more of a problem because my hand license is good until I reach the age of 125, which means I probably will be able to operate from my grave at some point. Man. Wild Nature Southwest, me too with the beer. Michael Duffin, beer makes me too sleepy. Man Max can never drink beer, never liked the taste. Always drank vodka or tequila. Matt, that's cool regarding beer. You gotta listen to what your body tells you. Yeah. I don't know. It's over time. Oh yeah, definitely. Beer is that's high calorie. Drinking a lot of beer, you get fat fast. Aubrey Young saying hi from Springfield, Missouri. Watching on YouTube. Radio Hitachi Worldwide Receiver 1968 model. That's cool. WK0Y. Nice to have you on board. Calcus says, if anything, it feels like the internet has enhanced shortwave listening for the future. Been a thing of mine since 2010. Appreciate your content. Cool. Matt, anyways, I'm cracking open an isolation ale from Odell Brewing, Fort Collins, Colorado. But that said, on more specialized type beers, I still, like, it's just that my body kind of tells me pretty much after a couple that that's enough. Our JDA Dakota used to be able to have a beer, enjoy the taste, but can't do a lot of alcohol anymore. But zero, Heineken zero. That's cool. That's cool. René Charbonnier from Radio Classic Sunday. Nice to have you on board. And Joe Tyson. Hey, nice to have you here from Apex, North Carolina. KM4WRQ. Randy, nice to have you on board from Riverside, California. What else do we have? JD Dakota, any timetable for changeover away from HD to DAB? Nope, not that I know of. Dan Robinson, good discussion, and thanks for the live show, Joe. I'll have additional articles coming up on the Malahide receivers. Cool. Always read everything that you post. It's always very informative and interesting. Nice to have you on board, Dan. Joe Tyson says, I have 53 feet random wire antenna on my ICOM IC7200. Worked EU and Antarctica on FT8. So check that out. Absolutely. WF7I Homebrew World Radio History, definitely a great site. Absolutely. Richard MLA30 hit the ground to second time in a week. PVC pipe and an umbrella stand does not cut it, but still works. So, you gotta put it up better. Mine is on a wooden broomstick, and I think it's gonna be the third winter now that it's there. Very, very solid. Michael, so far I've been able to pick up Radio China, but not much else, probably because of noise. Yeah, noise is the biggest problem. Biggest problem. So, yeah, you guys are kind of losing 220, something like that in the USA. Here in Canada, it's still a ham band. John Beckham, from your experience and our knowledge, would you say that copper wire is better than aluminum wire in shortwave radio reception? It seems that it was always a 50, 100 feet roll of copper antenna kits. Honestly, if you put a wire outdoor, aluminum or copper I don't think you will even see a difference in reception personally. So whatever you put up is going to be fine, and aluminum wire costs less than copper. Copper is technically a better conductor, but the difference will probably not be noticeable. Simon Templar, nice to have you on board from the wet Portland, Oregon. We have some iron brew. These are good points on the net for 40 meters. I wasn't sure how you would feel about having the net concurrent with your show, but if that works for you, then this could work. Yeah, I got no problem with that. Actually, I find that maybe it'd be a cool thing to have the net going while the show is going on. And, we could talk about it regularly. So if people joining in later, we can, regularly mention that the net is going on, the frequency. And so people can, as the show goes on, and you conclude the net when there are really not a lot of stations are going through, or you conclude the net when the live show, is over, or you just continue on for if there are other stations. Do as you please. But I think that could be nice. Toobrook Tim, yeah, the S350 is made in China. I was pretty sure about that. It's made by the Grundig S350 is actually made. I'm not sure, but I think it's made by It was made by the Retson company or something like that. Well, if you have a lot of noise, Michael Tuffin, MLA30 is your best chance of getting something. Jim Gordon bought a used PL880. It's good, but not better than the PL660. Its sync is poor. As you have said, radios have reached a plateau where it's hard to see much improvement in individual models. A lot of it goes down more to specifics of the radios at this point. So, if you have a PL660, and you ask me, should I get a Texan H501 or a PL990 or 880? Am I going to get more? The first thing that is going to be my answer is, well, you're not going to get anything more on that radio than you get on those other radios. What you're going to get is I'm just going to check it out. So what you're going to get, and by the way, for the 6030 frequency, it's Radio Romania. That is in DRM. Radio Romania, as in Faroes. So, it comes down to the audio quality. The PL880 has good audio quality. On the H501X, you'll have amazing audio plus stereo FM plus, external antenna for AM, medium wave also, which is not the case for a PL660. So it comes down to these little details. That radio offers a few things the 660 does not, but in terms of reception, they all receive the same signal. So definitely radios have reached kind of a level. The electronics have reached a level where, look, we've got pretty much on all the radios the best of the best in what is, sensitivity, basically. LBF 7i Homebrew. Yeah, there could be a Wednesday night net also. Absolutely. It's possible. Absolutely. Radio Yankee. Nice to have you on board. Mike, thank you. K2YK. BT Radio, big hello, Kimberly. What else do we have? Summon Templar saying hello to Elizabeth. No, 6030 at this time is Radio Romania. Radio Romania. Yes, David. I am Victor Echo 2 Zulu Zulu India. Absolutely. So no, it's Radio Romania. What else do we have? No politics, please, or anything close to it. Thank you. Simbacon, nice to have you on board from the Wolverine State. What else do we have? Dr. Sishab, does you see SSB 980 have a FCC ID on the back or of a radio or Canadian ID? Just curious on Canadian CB. I have no idea. Let me see if I can check it out quickly. Does it have any FCC? Whoops. Any FCC approval or anything? It's FCC approval on the back. And there's no Canadian approval on it. But there is on the sticker FCC. Mention of FCC on the back for the 980 SSB. What else do we have? Glenn Zekman, nice to have you on board from Wet Tennessee. Simbacon says Texan AN 200 medium wave loop or AN 48X or MLA 30, which is best? For medium wave only, AN 200 is pretty nice for improving reception of medium wave AM signals. But as for shortwave, definitely the MLA 30 is a million times better than an AN 48X that I would technically avoid buying. It's very finicky in its tuning, and in some cases, it actually makes signals worse than better. James Johnson, propagation is crazy today. Tried all day to make the X calls with no luck, and went up 10 kilohertz, and got lots of contacts. Cool. Jim Gordon, yep. World Radio History site is amazing. There's so much there to look at, and you'll have for years to come of reading material. I'd love to download some of those older magazines on my tablet and go through them, and also go through the schedules. I found one with, I think it was a monitoring times from like the 90s, and I was looking at the schedules, the shortwave schedules. It's like, wow, all of these stations that we could listen to. Michael Duff, an off-topic question. Does anyone know what on the Aton 750 it will seek shortwave, medium wave, long wave FM, but seeking doesn't work for air? Huh. I don't know. What else do we have? Sid, is 2182 busy these days in North America? It's rather quiet. 2182, which is the official marine, it's technically also an official safety and distress frequency. From time to time, from what I've seen, I've heard people mentioning that they hear things from time to time, but the activity there is definitely very quiet compared to what it could be. Zen Farrell's as 5995 Mali. Matt says, I suggest that you and your moderators give them 24 hours. I've seen people's answers show up that late. By the way, I wouldn't like it if anyone invited me into some group I haven't expressed interest in. Yep. Yeah, I have noticed that too, that it takes a lot of time for some of the answers. It's very weird. I don't understand why it takes so long for the answers on the questions sometimes. Marcy Manet, nice to have you on board from the Netherlands. Jim's radio check has the Ethon 750 with just whip a wire up a tree and works. That's cool. David, nice to have you from Belgium. Nice to have you on board. Yeah, I also look at the age of the Facebook account also. You know, if the guy is an account that's 10 years old, of course, yeah, it's definitely. But if they made an account, 2 hours ago or in the past week or month, then I take a much closer look at the profile. Absolutely. What else do we have? So, yep, David, Victor, Echo 2, Zulu, India. What else do we have? Bob 02911. Nice to have you on board. K4KBW from North Carolina. Doug Smith from Virginia. Nice to have you on board. Season's greetings. What else do we have? Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes, roughly 20 minutes behind in the comments. By the way, guys, that's why if you don't see an answer right now. David, of course, I'd love a QSO. So, yeah, at some point, we're going to check it out. I might not be on FT8 much, but I'm not saying I'm never going to do FT8, but I will probably... okay, VT Radio. I'll confirm to you an email. That should be that should be fine. Thursday at 8:30 p.m. I keyed up Covey Hill and had a contact with a U.S. ham yesterday. So I make it through Covey Hill with the portable here. Matt says, I can imagine your grave with a massive Yagi mounted on the tower right atop the tombstone. That'd be nice. David, KJ4 San Juan says, if Gilles' license expires when he turns 125, we all should schedule a QSO at his 124th birthday. Oh, man. Wire hooked up to the coffin with your brother's there. Oh, God. Michael, nice to have you on board. NJDX, nice to have you on board from Northeast USA. And QSO going on 7234.9. JJH says cherry flavored vodka over ice. Cool. What else do we have? Fastload, nice to have you on board. Usually idiots do that, Fastload. WF7I homebrew, copper, aluminum, or silver or gold. Any other conductor would make a great antenna. Most TV antennas are aluminum. Yeah, and I don't think you'd see much of a difference anyways in using one or the other. If you do put up a gold wire outdoors, the only problem I would think of is that it might be stolen quite quickly. And imagine copper is getting stolen now, so imagine gold. Ouch. Robert Cross, nice to have you on board. Bought another radio today. Needs fixing, not working. Artist at a Crafter's Kitchen added guy wires and loop insulators to my MLA30. Worked out well. Starting my second winter with no stability problems at all. Sid says tried aluminum and copper and no difference. Yeah, there shouldn't be really. You shouldn't pretty much see anything. My package is in Canada, Simon Templar. Thank you very much. I can't wait for that to arrive. Simba Khan, can you take the batteries out of the Texan 990X and run it on wall power? Yeah, you can run it with it's actually a standard 5-volt USB type connection that is on the radio. So, and you don't need to take the battery out, but you can run it on wall power. The problem is, for shortwave, the problem is most radios don't like wall power because it brings a lot of noise. And I actually will be, most of my portables, I always have them working on battery because there's less noise, basically. JJH misses the Cold War broadcast from Radio Moscow. Any good propaganda out there these days? Anyone? Oh yeah. There's still some stuff. Radio event at Cuba does have some, and if you listen to a few stations, there's definitely still some stuff going on. There's if you can get North Korea, that's a pretty good, very, Voice of Korea in North Korea is what is probably the best sounding 80s, 70s style station like we had when the Cold War was going on. It just gives you that same feel again. Michael Tuffin, don't mean to sound apocalyptical, but if the net, as we know it, suddenly goes boom, well, countries like, if you look at countries like Afghanistan, where the Taliban took over, and now suddenly you have a lot of censoring of content on the internet and even shutdown of the internet. That's where radio and shortwave radio in particular saves you because you can get news. I don't think the problem with shortwave is that as time will go by, the big problem is that, with less, let's face it, there's pretty much no stores anymore that you go and pick up a shortwave radio. It'd be difficult to bring back shortwave because of that reason. The shortwave radios are inexistent. You have to buy them online almost exclusively now. And, it'd be tough to bring that back, honestly. So, James Johnson, WRMI now getting ICOM sponsors for Ham Show on Thursday. Okay, cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? Try to get closer to the bottom of the chat. I totally forgot about the show on WRMI. I didn't listen to it on Thursday. Totally forgot about it. John Beckham, yes, indeed, shortwave radio will always be very reliable alternative to communications versus internet going dark. That's for sure. CMDR, nice to have you here. What else we have? David McCormick, V2ZZI, Dave from K9DV. Sorry, QRM here. You're now 5-5. Thank you very much. What else do we have? Any Ukraine military frequencies? There must be some, but we need to search for it because there must be some stuff happening. Especially, there's a lot of Russian military activity on HF. So I wouldn't be surprised that Ukraine also does. Michael Tuffin, I don't know. Yeah, my name is Gilles. The super chat stuff and all of that. The reason I don't activate it, I've always felt that I don't want to make like a class of people, but I do get people asking me regularly, you should activate the super chat for donating and stuff like that. So what else do we have? Yeah, but I don't think Dr. Sishop. I think there's even if it be officially sold in Canada in a Canadian store, a lot of stuff that I have, they have the FCC stuff, but there's no. I don't even think industry or the ISED will actually do anything in kind of saying, hey, this is approved for Canadian use or anything. I don't even think they go through that and bother doing that anymore. The World Radio TV Handbook is a printed book. Simon Templar, changed my call sign. It's now W0OKE, Whiskey 0 Oscar Kilo Echo. And it says a play on Chewbacca as a species. The Bod. Nice to have you on board from Iceland. And you should hear a lot more than here in North America because I use some Icelandic SDRs, Kiwi SDRs, lots of stuff there. If you don't hear anything, it's because you have a lot of noise around you. So that means that you need to go outside or try to find a way to put an outdoor antenna and put it as far away from the house as possible. If you don't hear any shortwave broadcasts, it's really definitely because it's really the noise that's preventing you from hearing stuff. Hey, Paul Richardson, Victor Echo 9, Victor Whiskey. Nice to have you here. From Victor Echo to Zulu, India. WF7IOM Bruce says, been doing FT8 on 40 meters during the live stream. Conditions seem good for this time, most of the US and even into Europe. Yeah, that's what I figure. This time frame is perfect for 40 meters in the US, and it's perfect to possibly make contacts with European stations. So yeah, why not next week? Try that. Next week we'll do it during the live show. Yep, there's a magazine called Radio User. I had a few copies here that were donated by a viewer that I downloaded, and Nice magazine. David McCormick, maybe you get your DMR ID. You could do a shortwave channel net. That could be interesting. We could check that out. All the possibilities. David says SSB would be awesome too. That being said, if we actually manage to copy each other through our urban noise floors, yeah, that's the biggest problem. Sid, getting interesting here on 2182 in Central England, French and English talking over each other at the same time. Wow. Thank you, Simba Khan, for the good comments. So I will have some. I'm going to try different things. I don't know yet, David, for the final antenna for now, but we'll be. I'm looking at an inverted V, or maybe simply an end-fed, and like long wire, like a dipole or some kind of long wire. So, anyways, I'm going to do some tests and see what's going to happen. David McCormick, nice to have you on board, says enjoying his late brother's Sony ICF 2002. So, yeah, but there's more than QRN. It's really, like I said, there's a lot of the local noise is the problem because there's really still, it's not like the 60s or 70s and 80s, but there's still a lot to listen to. What else do we have? Jim says, what BL5C milliamp hour number do you recommend? Well, BL5C batteries, I believe the highest rating you can have is 1500 milliamp hour. Nothing more. If you see more than that, they're lying. Those batteries cannot go higher than that. But so, anything that up to you get the highest milliamp hour, because basically the higher the longer it's going to last. But if you see some, I see some advertised like 2500 milliamp hour. No, a BL5C cannot be 25 milliamp hour. 2500. Dwayne, do you pick up North Korea? Any? If so, what frequency? There's a couple of frequencies in the morning that are often monitored in North America. I believe 11710 and 9435 are two of them. Handy from Manchester, UK. What else do we have? Douglas Perry, nice to have you here. What else do we have? What else do we have here? Girl icon, if the power went out, how long would a laptop running an SDR go before the battery dies? Depends on your laptop. By experience here, so my gaming laptop has about 7 hours of laptop battery life when I use it. But if I plug in my RTL SDR V3, or if I plug in the AirSpy HF Plus and run the software, I'm not even sure I'm getting 2 hours. Honestly, it consumes a lot of power to running an SDR on the laptop. Log 2112, nice to have you here. 8918 and 8891 are nice and busy this afternoon. That's Aeronautical Communications. Yep, World Radio TV. World Radio TV Handbook is the last one. Absolutely. Bonsoir, Christian Marcoux. Take care. Stay safe. WF7i Ombru, I've used and fed long wires with outdoor tuner for many years and also can work pretty well. There are many antenna possibilities. Yep. That's why I'm going to go get some wire tomorrow to start my tests and my projects. Hey, I'm at the bottom of the chat now. Cool. I'm in real time with you guys. James Johnson says Amazon has a ham starter set with all you need with Icon Radio for 1,400 with fees. John Beckham, I think visiting a small island like Iceland would be lots of fun, and shortwave radio reception probably be very good if there wasn't a noise issue. I use one of the there are I think three Kiwi SDRs around Iceland, and one is bad because it's too noisy, but one is amazing. One is amazing. So Michael Tiffin just picked up 9350. Yeah, there are. Yeah, 9350 is I think it's WWCR, right? In Nashville, Tennessee. Hank Parr, nice to have you on board. David, no, I would have done it. I would have tried it, but the sloper that I had in the backyard has given away this summer. When there was a big storm, I found the wire down in the grass on the in the backyard. I mean, it was there. Like I didn't even maintain it and do any maintenance on it. It was there. It was there. For many years. So it actually lasted maybe 4 or 5 years before it gave out. What else do we have? So I need to put something up again. Metal Lunar says, well, got caught up. We must not be chatting enough. Angpar, why are mag loop antennas so expensive and what makes them so good? Well, they're not. You just buy an MLA 30 and you got a $40 magnetic loop antenna that works as well. I'll be very blunt here, and I know it's maybe not what everybody not everybody would agree, but I don't see why you should pay hundreds of dollars for a loop when the MLA 30 works so well. And one thing also to note, guys, is if you have an MLA 30 and it's still too noisy and doesn't work well, don't pay for hundreds of dollars for another loop. You're not going to get more. So MLA 30 magnetic loop antenna is going to be great, and it's $40. That's not expensive for a loop. And there's a lot of people here, and they're going to tell you the MLA 30 is really amazing and saved the hobby for many of us that are here on this channel. What else do we have? Is WWV still doing the propagation testing on the 8 minutes? Yep, absolutely. Log 2112. You just have to get WWV on at the 8th minute on one of their frequencies with all the tones and sweeps. What else do we have? VE2FGJ, nice to have you on board. Hand fed would be the best. Buying transformer. So I'm going to play with that and hope to be on the HF bands. Maybe during the week this week. That'd be nice. Appleby, LW, nice to have you on board. Paulo Pintos, TT1, ETE. How about digital modes like D-Star, DMR? Do you tend to use them? Maybe, yeah. It's one thing for sure is I'm the type of guy that wants to dabble in all sorts of stuff. So I will definitely be looking at all of that and trying it out. And like I said, FTA doesn't turn me on. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try it. That's it. Ruffleman 336 and 8 UCN. Alex, nice to have you on board from Southwest Ohio. So what frequency is your pirate station? John Beckham, yep, MLA 30. If you have noise, that antenna is going to save you, and you won't need something else than that. WF7I Homebrew, I think the vast consensus of MLA30 feedback is positive from what I've read. Yep, pretty much. David, yeah, at least Sloper had a good run. Oh, yeah, I've had it for many years. And it's gone through several winters and thunderstorms. So, and without, any maintenance, because it would probably be still up if I had just, checked everything. But yeah, it did its job for quite a while. So when is Paul going to have his license? We're going to check that out. Like 2112, what everybody thinks of the ending of the World Radio TV handbook after 75 years, over 76 years. Yeah, it's sad, but I think it's a sign of the times at the same time, honestly. Michael Tuffin just picked up some music on 11720, no big deal for most, probably. That's Voice of America. 11720 is Voice of America from the Greenville transmitter site in the US. Artist Other Crafter's Kitchen would sell MLA30 door to door if more people were listening to Shortwave. It's that good an antenna. Yep. Hank Power, what's the magic behind the mag loop antenna that makes them so good versus using a wire antenna or vertical? Actually, the thing is, if you live in an environment without noise, if where you live, the noise is very low, you have a much better antenna in a long wire antenna. It will receive more signal and better than a magnetic loop will do. First of all, verticals are very noisy because they get all the noise all around them, but also the fact that a vertical cannot be very long in general. So, it also isn't as good. The mag loop is in the way that it actually receives signals. It is immune to certain types of noise simply in the way that they are designed. Simply, they don't get the signals like a wire does. And so that makes them immune to certain types of noise by design. But not all noise. You still will get noise on a magnetic loop. And depending on the type of noise you have, it could still be, it's not a given that you will have a great reception on a mag loop, but there are chances if it's very noisy that it might give you some shortwave back. But before any the general rule that I will tell everybody is before any buying any antenna, start by a wire outdoors that you will bring in with a shielded coax cable, because that could be a great antenna if it's not too noisy and will work fine. When you usually go to an MLA30, it's because either it's too noisy or it's just very complicated for you to put an outdoor antenna. John Beckham, Paul's girlfriend, is going very, very nice. She spent pretty much most of the day inside today. Sorry, guys. Brad, MLA30 works for me. Absolutely. William Helms, nice to have you here from Florida. Sorry, guys. Simbacon says, I think I may get the PL990X kit and one or two antennas or make my own. 990X is a great radio, that's for sure. It's up there in the top of the WF7I Homebrew. I'd consider using an outdoor tuner with an end-fed antenna. You get all bands and won't lose transmit signal due to multiple reflections in coax. I built one, but there are many inexpensive tuners. So, yeah, I'm going to check that out. VE2 meow, yep. Matt. What else do we have? Radio Shack DX398 versus Texan PL990X video. Yeah, check that out. I do have the possibility to do that. The only thing about my DX398 is that the speaker needs to be changed. So when I do videos, I need to actually put it on an external speaker to have the good sound coming out of it. What else do we have? What else do we have? William Helms says BL660 came in too. Cool. Great radios. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. Kevin says the only thing that would make me give up my MLA30 is if I found out it was a product of Overcomer Ministries. The official Brothers Stare antenna. But remember, guys, when I did my Alex Jones impression, the MLA30 sucks the airwaves. RGA Dakota electrical signal contains the noise elements. A magnetic antenna uses the magnetic signal instead of the electrical half. So that's why it cuts some noise. There we've got a more, a better explanation. Carl Icon hearing Sky King on 8992. Rifleman 336. What do I think of the death of the World Radio TV Handbook? It won't be the end if one can take over from the retiring chief editor. Modernized electronic edition would be a great modern addition to the concept. Yeah, that's what I think too. There should be an electronic, an ebook, WRTH. That would be nice. Either that or really, make the WRTH website you could put it in front of a paywall if you want to maintain it, and you can pay for a subscription or something and have access to all of the amazing detail and amazing information it has updated all the time. Take care of Vahan Razarian 73. Simakun says, I've heard you say that before about the speaker in the Radio Shack DX398. I used to have one and never had problems with the speaker. Yeah, it's a known issue, actually. The Radio Shack DX398, which is also known as DCNG and ATS 909, the original, it is a known problem. A lot of them have a defective speaker over time. What I need to find is a proper speaker that could be used to put inside it. I should take the time to look at trying to find something that would fit in the case and that would be able to replace inside it. But I use an external speaker, basically. So it still works. Yep, Rifleman 336. It could be updated throughout the year. I think that'd be nice. That'd be nice. So here we are on the live show today. Any pirates? Anything to listen to right now on the bands? Let's check that out here. I'm gonna take my tablet, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna take a little break for 2 seconds. I'm gonna go fill up my glass as we will continue the show and talk more about it. We're gonna try to stay on. Remember, in an hour from now, we have the special event station on 160 meters coming up, which is which will actually celebrates the 100th anniversary of the first amateur radio contact. So that's something that we're going to look at it. If anybody wants to repost the information, by the way, of that, it'd be nice to check out. So it's from the station is broadcasting from Connecticut, and so if anybody wants to post the info again on the chat room so that we can talk about it, as I go and fill up my glass of vodka and cranberry juice. And as I do this, we're going to because that's Radio Rebellion from Cuba is coming in really well on 5025. And Radio Havana Cuba on 5040, also pretty good. So won't be long, guys. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So Paul the cat is in the house. Paul the cat. Okay. That's it. All right. That's good. All right. Yeah. There we go. Almost didn't make it. Here it goes. Paul the cat saying hi to everybody. Hey, Mr. Paul, big cat. Yeah. So, long time he hasn't made an apparition on camera. And my cat. Yeah. So, back with vodka cranberry. Hope everybody is having fun. So 5040 Havana, Cuba coming in well. 5025 Radio Rebel de Cuba also. WTWW seems to be pretty good also on 5085. Right now here in the eastern part of the continent. Look at that big guy. Everybody's happy to see you, man. Yeah. So, what else do we have? What else do we have? John Beckham, crystal radio is a simple example of how electromagnetic waves work and produce volume without any power, such as a battery needed. Yep, absolutely. What else do we have? PLF radio is M12 5832 CW, which is the Moscow, Russia number station in Morse code. John Beckham, please bring me back a gin and tonic, please, with lime. And 6 RLS radio signals have both electric and magnetic components. Yep. So mag loop antennas pick one of them up. And so that's why it removes some of the noise. What else do we have? What else do we have? Doug Smith, I hope you make it to 125, but you may be able to ham in shortwave with underground coax mounted. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do on the tombstone. James Johnson, never hear anyone on 10 meters here in North Florida. Heard New York a year back, but no ticket to talk back then. Be patient and listen in every day. You'll be surprised. I've heard 10-meter contacts a couple of what was it, last week? It's something you need to be patient with, and with the fact that the rising solar activity slowly coming up, we'll have more and more activity on the bands for 10 meters. So, what do you want? Mister is not happy when I touch his belly. What else do we have? What else do we have? Yeah, Bobby, a little face that we haven't seen in a while, eh? Still a nice little face, this guy. Everybody's saying hello to you, Paul. You're a star. You're a star. Yeah, the official mascot of the channel, absolutely. Oh yeah, Paul is an amazing cat. Look at that. Look at that guy. Wants to find a way. Love you, man. And I know that cat loves me like crazy too. Just is adorable. The best cat you can own, I think. Very, very difficult to find And his girlfriend is pretty nice too, but she's super scared of everything in the house, every noise. So she's kind of always kind of on the lookout when something happens out of the ordinary. What else do we have? VT Radio. What else do we have? V2 PTC Paul the Cat. That would have been nice. So 1821 starts at supposed to start at 22 UT and every 15 minutes until 23 UT, sorry, which is 6 p.m. Eastern, and should be going on until 11 p.m. Eastern, which is 04 UTC, and have some something every 15 minutes. I'm just gonna check out here. I'll put 1821. See if I hear anything at some point. I'll put myself in CW. It's going to be interesting to see if we can hear that station. Yep, pure orange tabby. Very nice cat. Paul Williams, nice to have you on board from California. Simba Kunz has once received KAAY in Little Rock, Arkansas from Michigan. Called them up and told them that they sound like they aren't very far away. Pretty cool. I'm sure that the engineers particularly would be the ones that are happy to get that information. Just gonna do a little something here, guys, for a second, because it's a little noisy. So that was the apparition of Paul the Cat. What else do we have? Robert Osborne got 80 miles per hour winds in Niagara Falls, listening on the scanner to all the emergency services. Yep, and even doing some listening on some of the the commercial stuff. You know, all the truckers and stuff that you can hear the companies on the UHF band. It's a lot of fun. What else do we have? Yeah, gotta check that out. Yeah, he has that beautiful ring just below the neck. Absolutely, it's just amazing. John Beckham, Paul adds nice addition to the Shortwave listening radio club, indeed. So yeah, we're gonna check that out to tune some stuff a little bit. Check out what's there. Cygnus Rider, nice to have you here from the windy Rochester, New York. Nice to have you here, Joe. What else do we have? Curtis Gump says, we have a big storm coming into Northern California, where I live. PLF Radio, M126832CW. You're hearing it? Let me just check it out here. 6832. Am I hearing anything there? Nothing heard. Nothing heard. 6832. I'm just gonna put the websites here for the different things I want to check, and we're gonna see what's on. I'm not sure. Am I hearing something? Maybe hearing something, but I'm not sure. So let's check HF Underground. Any pirate activity right now? HF Underground. Shortwave Pirates. Something heard at 22 on 5032 a.m. 5032. 5032. Nothing here, not even a peep on a signal here. And apparently some, maybe a weak trace on 5032 here. And apparently 6925. Anything on 6925? Very weak carrier that I see on the waterfall, and that's it. So 2 pirates right now. 6930 apparently, something also. Upper side band. So these are the ones that have been reported in the last hour or so. 6930 upper side band. Let's try that here. Nope, not hearing anything. None of those are making it right now. What else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? Oops. Yeah, I got no viruses. Thank you very much. Simbakan, I wonder how many people are in the chat. Yeah, but there's always more people watching than actual people really interacting in the chat. Jetcrafter getting music on 5025. 5025 is always Radio Rebelde from Cuba. Always Radio Rebelde. So you don't even have to wonder if you're listening to one or the other. It's always Cuba. That's on 5025. It's that's a powerhouse here throughout North America. Curtis Gum, want to get an SDR radio eventually? What would you recommend for AM, FM, and TVDXing? And can you record what you hear on an SDR? Yes, you can record what you hear. Absolutely. You can even record, a spectrum at a time for hours, and wake up in the morning and check out what you got through the night. The most, I'd say the easiest setup and probably best entry level SDR is the SDR Play RSP 1A. About $110, something like that, and it's easy to set up, works great, and it's very sensitive. So that's pretty good. Iron Boy YouTube. What frequency is this on? It's on the YouTube frequency. Curtis Gum, just learning about SDR radio receivers. The cheapest SDR that kind of is okay is the RTL SDR V3. But the biggest problem with that one is making sure that you get the real one, not the fake one. The fake one doesn't receive shortwave. Edwin says, Mrs. Popular Communications Mag. Well, go to the worldradiohistory.com webpage, and you're going to get all of them if you want to read them again from the past. You can have monitoring times and so on. Um, the only the only magazine really radio related that is kind of a feel of monitoring times, if you want. It's an electronic publication now, and the electronic publication is a Spectrum Monitor, which you can subscribe to. What else do we have? And VT Radio says there's also a 160-meter transatlantic centenary QSO party, that will run from '02 to '08 tonight, and had that to the 1821 kilohertz frequency for that station that's supposed to start in half an hour. We're going to try to listen to that on 160 meters coming from Connecticut. WF7I Homebrew, 6925 is about S5. Cool. Yep, Jetcrafter. Yeah, 5025 is really always Radio Rebellion from Cuba. Iron Boy, did you ever did a live transmit on shortwave? I actually a lot. There were quite a few pirates that over time have rebroadcasted my audio on shortwave over the years. John Beckham, I must say thanks to you, because through your reviews is how I became interested in my CWIT on R108 and D808 shortwave radios. Cool. That's, we're here to help. Rick, nice to have you on board from Milwaukee. David Bennett, are those expensive SDRs? I don't know which ones you're talking about, the expensive ones, if you're talking the one that are multiple hundreds of dollars. To be fair, of course, if you do have a very expensive SDR, it certainly probably has a little bit more, it's resistance to overload, and it's built. It's like a more expensive radio. It's built around the fact that it might actually perform slightly better. But honestly, I have a hard time, with anything that would be super expensive in the SDR field. The SDR play devices are great, and if I would have a comment on RTL SDR versus the SDR play RSP1A, the RTL SDR V3 original is about roughly $30, but it comes with a few little problems, like you need to install that special driver, which if you're not very tech savvy, is kind of a hassle. And then you have the fact that it has quite a few images on the higher part of the range, and pretty much everywhere. Anyways, it has a lot of images. You see that the front end isn't that great, but it does the job, and it's still sensitive, and you will receive a lot of stuff with that $30 SDR. The reason I always jump to the SDR Play RSP1A is because for about 109, you get something that the setup is just installing the software, plugging that thing in, and it works. And it works well, and it does well what it has to do. So it's for somebody that's not very tech savvy, the install is simple, and it does a nice job at receiving, Then, of course, there's other SDRs. Like I have the HF AirSpy, the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery. It's nice, works well. But for me, what I would say is because a lot of people swear on that being an amazing SDR, much better than what you'd get with the SDR play devices and so on. I'm not so sure they are that much superior personally, but anyways, the importance is to like what you have. The RSP DX is probably closer to an AirSpy HF Plus, and that one now goes into the $200. AirSpy HF Plus is about $169, $170 roughly. They work well, but I would not, I bought it because I wanted to test it out and have the possibility to talk about it with my own personal experience of it. But if it was not for this channel, the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery, I would never have purchased that. Mainly because what I like of the SDR Play devices is they're wideband up to 2 gigahertz. So you have reception up to 2000 megahertz. The AirSpy HF Plus, if you're a VHF, UHF guy, is very limited in its range of VHF frequency. So you're really mostly in the long wave, medium wave, short wave listening spectrum with an AirSpy. And it does well to, I have nothing, if you remove the range, the frequency range, I have nothing negative to say about the AirSpy HF Plus. It does very well what it's supposed to do. Now, I don't have the equipment, nor do I have the noise level required and antennas to tell you, well, when I tune the AirSpy HF Plus on some signal, it definitely is better than an SDR Play device. And don't forget that the SDR Play devices, like the RSPDX, also have the diversity modes that you can do on AirSpy, and in the low frequencies, it has, of course, the an enhanced dynamic range and a lot of stuff that I would think would probably put the RSPDX in the same league. The RSPDX is fun for one thing that I really like, having the 3 antenna jacks. So you can, if you have multiple antennas, you can put up to 3 antennas on it. You don't have to swap or switch anything. It's, you just, plug it in. You got three connectors there, which is really cool. So there's all sorts of little things like that. But whatever you buy is, AirSpy is great. The SDR Play devices are great. The entry level for me, the minimum entry level for me for an SDR would be the RSP1A. But if you don't want to spend money and want to have something that receives shortwave well, even though it has flaws, the RTL SDR V3, it does the job. I haven't done videos in a while with it. I should actually do some to show the. And by the way, for those that wonder what it looks like, and be very careful. Be very careful because there's a lot of fakes out there. You have to buy the real original one. This I purchased from the RTLSDR.com website directly to make sure I had the real thing, because they look exactly like this, but there's on Amazon and on eBay a lot of fakes, a lot of them, and they do not perform well, and they do not receive shortwave. What else do we have? Some economists, the old-time radio shows on shortwave like mystery, suspense, and horror. There used to, I haven't heard that in a while now, but there used to be, there's something weird here. I'm going to just do this and this. Okay. There used to be some old-time radio shows on WWCR. I haven't heard that in a long time. I think they have replaced it with the Brother Stare crap. Iron Boy, do you pick up SSTV images? Yes, absolutely. Either on the ham bands or on when the International Space Station sends them. It's a lot of fun on the VHF range. David Bennett, still have loads of fun with my cheap RTL SDR. That's the important thing. Honestly, if you're happy and you're having fun with it, it's cool. That's all that really counts personally, 73 Aaron Boy. Dave Dufault, nice to have you here. Barry, nice to have you on board from Kentucky. Kamagzi76, nice to have you on board from windy West Michigan. Having a power outage due to the winds. Zenfaros, it's on 11860, Spanish language. It's Radio Marti, I believe, is on 11860. Radio Marti. Yeah, it's Radio Marti. Both on 11860 and 11930, the same station, Radio Marti from the United States, broadcasting towards Cuba. So, why can't we use GMRS repeaters in Canada like they do in the US? Regulation, that's all. They decided here in Canada we're not licensed for GMRS operation. Anybody can buy GMRS transceivers and use them. In the United States, they have a license requirement. So that license requirement also made them think about, well, let's add also some, possibilities of what they can do on GMRS. So in the US, repeaters are allowed in GMRS repeaters. But here in Canada, because it's license free, probably they just kept it as a standard, kind of like a CB style, thing with channels on UHF instead of just the CB channels on HF. So, and 6RLS, which is actually sharing station W2RCA in Morse code, 0252 UTC, 9:52 p.m. Eastern Time. Frequency 1825 kilohertz with a code speed 12 words per minute. And it's a one-way transmission, so that's going to be interesting. And in 20 minutes, we're going to have that station on from Connecticut to celebrate the 100 years of first transatlantic amateur radio contact. What else do we have? The when their slow scan TV, the International Space Station transmits on 145-800. They do have a repeater that you can listen to on 437-800. I got a little blank here. 436 or 437-800. What else do we have? Rufus Newt lightning here, and it's December. Wow. Yeah, here it's pretty warm. It's 10 degrees. It's actually got warmer since the beginning of the show. We're at 10 degrees Celsius right now here. It doesn't look like definitely doesn't look like December. It doesn't really matter, honestly, Simbacon, that you use copper wire or aluminum. You won't see a difference in making an antenna. You definitely won't see a difference there. So what else is RGD ADA code? Did he replace international music programming on our historic radio station WEW with Brother Stare? Isn't there something a little listener can do to have this cut down? Brother Stare, come on. Shellen Harvey, nice to have you here from Greenfield Park, Quebec. We're going to try that station on 160 meters in 20 minutes. Jeff King did hear some old radio shows just a couple of weeks ago on WWCR. Tales of the Texas Rangers. Okay. Maybe I'm not listening at the time. I'm not listening at the time they're playing them. Because I remember there used to be like a evening primetime moment where they had that. Very pretty much the equivalent of our FRS family radio service. Curtis Gump, I belong to a club called the CHRS California Historical Radio Museum, Alameda, California, based on old classic radios from tube to vintage receivers. Interesting to see the old classic radios. Definitely. Definitely. Vince, Jill, make sure your radio batteries are full charge. Supposed to have up to 100 kilometers winds this evening and tonight. High risk of power failures. Here in the city, doesn't happen very often, but especially when you're in the out of the city, and here there's so many wooded areas that tree branches fall down and hit the power lines. Most of our power lines are actually in the air on poles, so risks of that. So yeah, definitely, we're gonna be. It's interesting because my weather station on the wall has raindrops and lightning on it, saying, this could be thunderstorm time, for sure. So crazy weather are headed our way. This is, but I always have the batteries. I never, in a power outage situation, I have no problem running radios, and I've got so many rechargeable batteries of every kind that I could be running my radios for a very long time, honestly. Rifleman 336 GMRS was supposed to be used for both normal citizens and businesses under 500 employees that need crosstown talk capability, hence the repeaters in the US. But the ended with the UHF business band. Here it's simple. They've just made it walkie-talkies. Zenfaro CHML 900 has whole time radio in the evenings. Yeah, 145.800 megahertz in the 2-meter ham band for slow scan TV. They have a packet radio system that you can hear the bursts of data on 145.825. You can actually pick that out even with the little simple scanner radio. Nothing fancy. RJ Dakota, not very common to have lightning in December. And I also have memories of seeing it snowing and lightning as well. I remember when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 years old or something. We had a big snowstorm, and we didn't have school that day because of the big snowstorm. And I was playing at the park with friends, and I remember it was like windy and snowing like crazy. And we were having fun playing in the snow. And there was lightning and thunder. And the lightning was very close because the thunder was like almost instant with the lightning. We all looked at each other like scared, and we started running towards home. I still remember that moment. It was like, wow, this is crazy. A snowstorm and some lightning. But apparently during snowstorms, big snowstorms, it is quite common to have lightning from time to time. And I've seen lightning and snowstorms later also in recent years. Always kind of interesting when it happens. Barry, my GMRS call, WQYY664. Matt, do you have a battery pack or something similar for your MLE30? In general, I power mine with the RSPDX bias T. Mine is right now, so because I use my multi-coupler to split the antenna, I have to power it. So I'm powering it with a standard little adapter. But if there would be no power, I could unplug it and plug it on this. This is my power pack, which I use, which is very heavy. So this is what I used to power. I could power the MLA30 on it. Only has one drawback, because the MLA30 doesn't really. So you can see here it's fully charged. Because the MLA30 doesn't actually take a lot of power drain on this shuts down because it thinks nothing's plugged in. So what I do is I plug the MLA30 and I plug something else on it that drains a little more power. Like I could plug the ATS25, for example. And so because of the drain of the ATS25, now this stays on all the time. And this will power. And to give you an idea, even my Chinese Malahit receiver, this can power that for 2 days before this is going to be depleted. So I have a lot of power in this little, and it has a solar cell on it. If you leave this a full day in the sun, it charges it about halfway, 50%. So you can without power for several days. I stick this in the window in the sun in the afternoon, and got a few hours of battery available on it. But I have to power my MLA30 independently because of the multi-coupler. But if I didn't have the multi-coupler on for splitting the antenna, I would be powering it from the RSPDX bias T directly instead. As Matt says, the phenomenon called thunder snow. Rufus says crazy weather started here, 80-kilometer winds and lightning, 11 Celsius. James Johnson, great show tonight. Take care with your Christmas stuff. Have fun. The Mike WX50, there was a Weather Channel reporter getting a kick out of hearing thunder snow. What else do we have? Matt says, smart move. Nearby lightning strikes and any weather is no joke. We can get them in broad daylight in the mountains here in Colorado. I was looking at a website, was a weather website, and they were talking about thunder. So when we talk about thunder and lightning, and of course it affects the radio stuff also, because we know that lightning can damage receivers if your antennas are still plugged in and stuff like that. And you don't have to have a direct hit. People think, oh well, the lightning needs to hit my antenna. No, it does not. Lightning just needs to be close enough. It does not need to be on the antenna. And if it's close enough, the magnetic field around the lightning bolt, that can fry your radio. So that's why you better disconnect everything when there's thunder, because a lightning strike just across the street could be close enough to just fry everything if your antennas are plugged to the radio. So in that weather site, they were talking about when we should be worried if you're outside at a picnic or at the pool. And they were saying that one of the most common times people get hit by lightning is because they're still outside and they think they're safe because the thunderstorms are far away. And they were saying when you start hearing thunder, you are immediately at risk, and that you should not, kid around, and you should head for your home, because it's a sign that close to you, just hearing thunder is enough to let you know, look, you could at any time, and at the speed that a thunderstorm can actually develop, you could already be in danger of being hit by lightning. So, we often we're careless a little bit on that. We're like, oh, that thunderstorm. I'm hearing the thunder, but it's far away. Well, that weather side was saying, people get hit by lightning with thunderstorms that are really far away because they develop so fast that it takes seconds or a few minutes. You're in the danger zone already. So you need to, I still remember in 1987 we had a series of thunderstorm go through here in Montreal, and if you go on YouTube and you type Montreal 19, just in YouTube type 14th of July 1987, Montreal, you will see some reports and you'll see some news reports. You're going to see that we had that year a series of thunderstorms. That was the worst, most heavy, crazy weather I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen that since. I mean, the rain was like, it was like snow. It was so crazy windy and crazy raining that it's like it was just like, wow, it doesn't look like rain. It looks like snow. And when that went through, the thunderstorms went through, and we got 100 millimeters, 100 millimeters of rain in like half an hour. It was crazy. And that 100 millimeters is 10 centimeters, just to give you an idea, which is 4 inches. We had 4 inches of rain in 30 minutes. And the lightning and the winds, and it was crazy because the power lines were moving so much that they were actually creating sparks with each other. I had never in my life did I ever see such bad weather. I can imagine the only thing getting close to that or worse than that is probably being in a tornado or something. And I've seen strong thunderstorms since, of course, some really heavy thunderstorms since. Never like that. We have one of our highways that is like down a trench, if you want. They build a highway down. That thing filled up and became a river. People were like stuck. They had to rescue people that were stuck in there. And it was crazy. Here, where I lived not that far away from here, the park where I used to go to school, it was a big river. It's a big a lake. I couldn't see the park anymore. And pretty much every house in the basement were all flooded. It was really intense back then. If you go and check out 1987, July 14th, Montreal flood or something, you're gonna see some YouTube videos about it. It was crazy weather back then. I remember seeing the clouds come in. I had my weather radio. I had I was with the patrolman CB60, and I was actually, when I saw really dark clouds coming in, I started monitoring the weather band on it to see, and of course there was a weather alert about this thunderstorm. It was crazy weather. What else do we have? Keyboard issues. Cygnus Riders got so Joe Tyson's got a 200-watt solar panel for backup power, which is cool. What kind of battery pack is this? I don't remember the brand, and I don't see any name on it. But I bought it on Amazon. And it truly is. This is like I think it's 25,000 milliamp hour, at least, if not more. And it is a real one because it's very heavy. The problem with buying these things online, we get cheated out of. A lot of them are not what they claim to be. A lot of them are, this is 40,000 milliamp hour. And you get them, and it's like, yeah, right, doesn't weigh anything. And it's like, yeah, I'm lucky if it's 10,000 milliamp. This one is the real deal of how many milliamp hours it was advertised. And it shows. It shows because it's very heavy. You see that in here, there is a big battery. So I don't know the brand, but I bought it on Amazon. There's something written here. I don't see it really. Has four types of USB ports for powering all sorts of devices. Really neat. I had that for about a year now, and I really, really like it. But I'm sorry, I don't have the brand. I would have to go back to my Amazon and go back far to see which brand it was. Yep, like Barry says, lightning can also strike 10 miles away from a storm. Dave, Texanar 9012, Super Het, Analog Radio Fun, yes. Take care, WF7I Homebrew. And don't forget, like he says, 3817 plus or minus 5 kilohertz, official SWL channel Hamnet. Make some calls. So that will start at 0 UTC today. Keegan, nice to have you here. X1080Xer from Northwest Arkansas. Sheldon, did you heat all the donuts? No, there's, I actually made 36. I think I gave 12 to a friend. There might be 10 left, 12 left. I think I ate 4 today, 4 or 5. So the net is at 0 UTC, 3817 plus or minus 5 kilohertz. Madoon, good evening. Nice to have you here. Rifleman 336, nearby lightning can result in a coronal strike. Fried one of my radio clubs, 80-meter beams destroyed the traps. County C76, my grandmother one time, for some unknown reason, decided to wash dishes while there was a thunderstorm and was hit by lightning through the water. Yep, same thing. Don't take a shower. Don't touch the water pipes of any kind, the water faucet, because you can really get it. Let's check the 160 meter. It's supposed to start now on 18.821. Whoop. So I see some activity on a single sideband on 160 meters. I'm hearing Morse code on 1821, 1822, actually. 1821 kilohertz. Is that the transmission? Wow, that CW is chirping. It's really not a clean tone. If that's the transmission for the 100th anniversary of the transatlantic, are they using an old transmitter? Is there something I didn't read? I mean, it's chirping weird. It actually shifts in frequency, but I hear it on 1821 CW. I actually hear it better on 1820.5 CW. What a weird chirping CW. That is weird. Yeah, it's kind of warbly. Absolutely. So bizarre. John, nice to have you on board from the Czech Republic. Thank you for your reviews of shortwave radios. I want to ask, I like old radios. Do you have some experience with old, small Sony Shortwave 100? Good luck. I've never owned a Sony Shortwave in my life, which is kind of surprising when you think about it. But I've heard a lot of people that own those that seem to be pretty good. Pretty good. Zinfaros 5995 getting stronger from Radio TV Mali. Yep, absolutely. It just this is so weird. Yeah, that's also a good thing to look at this public service broadcast on the broadcastify.com and search for your area. Kind of interesting. Just going to check something here. Sorry, guys, for a second. They're going to be on 1820 killer. It's 1820 killer is the exact frequency. That's why it sounds warbly. They are using a 1921 replica transmitter. That's why it was weird. Operating as W2AN/1 Bravo Charlie Golf on 1820 kilohertz, plus or minus, using CW from the Vintage Radio Communications Museum in Connecticut. Transmissions from W2AN/1 BCG will be one way, just like original transatlantic tests in 1921. You can get a shortwave certificate for the special event by sending a copy of the transmitted message to 1BCG at antiquewireless.org. And every 15 minutes, the station is going to broadcast again. So every time, like we had one now at 1800, at 2300, we'll have 2315, 2330, 2345, and so on. And that's going to go every 15 minutes until the last transmission, that will be at 0345 UT Eastern Time. So when we heard that weird transmission that was kind of chirpy, that was probably that replica of the 1921 transmitter. So around 1820, I've got it at 1820.5 kilohertz PLF radio. Chuck Yunkin, nice to have you on board. So they're really using an old transmitter. Zenfaros, there is more than one station CW Centennial broadcast, different frequencies for the two sides of the QSL. Yeah, there's another frequency for one later tonight also. Zenfaros, I have it in the SDR Waterfall, post video to Facebook group. V2FGJ says he's got it on 1820 CW coming in great in Quebec. So Keegan listened to online to an NPR station in Milwaukee. With mention of tornadoes and storm. Vince got it on 1820.6. That would be 160 meters is a tough one for Europe. That's for sure. So I'm going to wait at 2315. We should hear it again. Dick Van Kuterman says very light copy, almost not there in northern Mississippi. Hey, Jim from Rhode Island, nice to have you here. Yeah, there's some hams on the frequency because there's I've seen some people sending CW, and I think they're maybe not knowing that this is just a one-way transmission. So on XH data, the best bet is to put it on 1819 upper sideband and play a little bit with the fine-tuning knob and see when it comes back at 2315. If you want to try it, put yourself at 1819 kilohertz and play with the fine-tuning knob to see if you can hear something. But if they're using a replica transmitter, maybe that's why it's so weird and wobbly. But at least we're getting it here. I'm not surprised. Here from Connecticut, I thought we had a good chance here. So the next transmission should be at 2315 in 6 minutes. So we're going to wait for that. And if we hear that warbly, strange moving tone of CW, we'll know that it's we'll know that it's that transmission. So you guys, you can get a shortwave certificate for the special event. And what I'm going to do actually is later when the show's over, I'm going to record and I'm going to actually post the video, and I'll send them the link to the video so they could see it, and hope to have that certificate for the special event. What else do we have? David Bennett, nothing in California. I'm not surprised, and you guys in California are probably still in daylight there. 160 meters is a tough one for distance. Oscar, link to this event just got here. So just put your radio on 1820 kilohertz. I've got my article from the Shortwave Listening website, the shortwavelistening.com. Special event is so here it says 2021 marks the 100th year anniversary of the historic transatlantic tests, where radio amateurs using the call sign 1 Bravo Charlie Golf were responsible for the first successful radio communication across the Atlantic Ocean on shortwave. So today, on December 11th, 2021, the Antique Wireless Association will recreate these historic transmissions on 160 meters from the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut, using a replica transmitter constructed by volunteers at the Antique Wireless Association. This special event is your opportunity to relive a historic moment in amateur radio history. You can go to onebravocharliegolf.org, 1bcg.org for more information. And PLF Radio just shared it. Thank you very much. The 1BCG replica transmitter will be operating as W2AN/1BCG on 1820 megahertz, kilohertz, plus or minus, using CW from the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut. Transmissions from W2AN/1BCG will be one way, just like the original transatlantic tests in 1921. And of course, you can get a shortwave listening certificate if you actually write to them at 1bcg@antiquewireless.org, which I plan to do actually. So you can see more at 1bcg.org, the website. It's every 15 minutes, Dwayne. You have to wait. It's going to restart at 23:15. It's a short transmission in Morse code. It's not continuous. So when I say we hear it again, then you guys can try it. Okay? You will receive it for a short while. It's going to stop, and every 15 minutes, it will repeat itself. Barry had it on the Grenick G3 with the whip. Dimitri, good afternoon. Nice to have you on board. Thank you very much for the congrats on passing my test. So Canadian Radio TV guy, you just had the answer to that special event. 1820. I had it on 1820.5, putting myself in CW mode on the AirSpy HF Plus. So it should be restarting in about a minute. I'm going to monitor this again. Kind of a cool event to monitor. Yep, PLF Radio sharing some. Merci PLF Radio pour partager les liens. Nice to have somebody sharing the links. So, if it was that weird moving, warbling CW, and I'm going to be, when it starts, I'm going to actually listen. Make sure I can hear and compare the my resty CW. Trying to see if I can hear it. Should normally be there now. There you go. Here's something here on 1822. Interesting, not hearing anything. You guys hearing something? I've tried it again, and it's like I'm not hearing anything now. And it should actually be transmitting because it's supposed to be every 15 minutes. That's weird. Jay Waterston 69, nice to have you on board. Yeah, but that's not the station. On 1824, it sounds more like some hams in CW. That's interesting. Technically, it should not be moving frequency. It should stay around 1820 if it's there. And I heard nothing now. So this is kind of that is weird. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. Not hearing it now. We'll try again at 23:30, and then I'll end the live stream as I'm going to go and eat. I've got some. What am I eating tonight? I'm eating chili con carne. Yeah, I wonder if they have a problem. I really wonder if they have a problem. Maybe the transmitter has some issues suddenly. Because it was very unstable in its chirps when it started at 23. Hope that nothing bad happened and that it's gone. What else do we have? Oh, you're hearing like those little pips, log 2112. That's something that is still a mystery. Many months back, we got that, and we were all trying, and everybody is hearing it everywhere. No one. Do you? No one knows what it is, and I have found no information about it. It's not always exactly precise as the pips, but weird. Joe J0 or JO2TMC. Sorry, nice to have you here. Mike is trying a QESDR in Rockport, Maine. No signal. PLF Radio tried the U20 SDR. There's only a small carrier. So I don't know. Francis Moore, not a radio question. I have to stop drinking beer due to hereditary gout. I see you drink vodka and cranberry juice. How many shots per pint do you do? Well, in a glass like this, which is pretty tall glass, I put 1.5 ounces. I put 1.5 ounce in a glass, a full glass like this. And this isn't just cranberry because I want to cut down the calories. So what I do is I put 1.5 ounce of vodka. I put diet cola for the rest of it. And at the top, just about, I don't know, half a glass of cranberry juice. Because if I fill that with cranberry juice, it's going to be like full calories all the time. John, nice to have you on board from windy Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, transmitter site, the transmitter. Just going to look at what it looks like. Wow, that is crazy. Maybe that's why it isn't very stable. It really looks like that old transmitter. Crazy. This is crazy. Wow. Pretty crazy. No, Joe Tyson, there's a ham. right now, it's a hand that's close on frequency that I just heard. It doesn't. My Morse code isn't that great, but I just heard the call, which does not match the call from the station here. We're gonna try again at 2330, because I mean I'm pretty sure that unstable warbly CW is what we heard at 23. It wasn't there at 2315. Maybe they're having some problem. Because this one has a W in its call sign. It doesn't have a W on the call sign of the when it actually activates, what we should hear is them call with the W2AN. Let me just check it out here. And it's supposed to be one-way transmission every 15 minutes. So this is kind of interesting here. And it really should be around 1820 kilohertz. So I'm going to check that out. 7 minutes for the next transmission. We're going to try it again. Zenfaros, the guy that built it, has a YouTube channel, but we are not mentioning it. Do they mention it in the article? The YouTube channel? Oh, here's something. If I play this, let's start this. Yeah, this. So the chirping, the weird chirping is what we heard. That is what it sounds like. So you see how it shifts in frequency when they're sending the CW? This is what you're supposed to listen to and what to hear. If you hear it like that, shifting frequency, you are listening to that station. This is what it's supposed to sound like. So any CW that you hear that is very, very stable has nothing to do with this transmission. So you guys, gives you an idea. It shifts. $8:24 a.m. in Japan. Yeah, I don't think you're going to hear that 1820 kilohertz in Japan. If you do, man, you are king of reception. So we're going to see here 5 minutes from now. It should come back, and kind of fun to have this. On their websites, it says in 1921, on December 9th, 10th, and 11th, radio amateurs who were members of both the Radio Club of America, RCA, and the American Radio Relay League successfully spanned the Atlantic Ocean for the first time, from the United States to Ardrossan, Scotland, with Morse code signals. Not only were the signals heard in Scotland, but also in Amsterdam, Holland, England, Germany, Puerto Rico, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Catalina Islands, California, and the state of Washington. The transmitter on the U.S. side, Station 1 BCG, was located in a 10 feet by 14 feet wooden hut in a farmer's field in Greenwich, Connecticut. The transmitter had an input power of 990 watts, a T-cage antenna, 100 feet long and 70 feet high, with a radial counterpoise, and the wavelength used was 230 meters, 1.3 megahertz. So the sample is really what you should be hearing. It should not be on now. It should be on in 3 minutes. It's a short transmission every 15 minutes. But if shifts in frequency, or if shifts like the example that, or the sample that they have, well, I guess that's what you might be hearing. So I'm going to try again in 3 minutes for the special event station. Should be no signal right now. We're going to try it again. I'm going to try it again in a couple of minutes. Hopefully we're going to hear it. Be fun. It'd be a lot of fun to hear it again. So what else do we have? And it should be shifting in frequency a little bit. This is cool. I like these event stations and these special things to listen to, and it keeps the spirit of radio on, and I think it's a lot of fun to chase these and listen to them. This is extremely cool. And recreating special events of the past, and imagine how if we would take our radios back in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, all the stuff we could hear, and what it must be like, and what it sounded like on the bands, and going through and the discovery of radio and everything that is everything that has happened since. It's just so cool when you think about it, honestly. So cool. And so should be on in a minute. It's going to be interesting to see. Joe Tyson, take your FT450 back. What do you mean? What's happening? We aren't hearing them anymore. Well, they're supposed to be on now. And we're supposed to be... That is weird. It's as if we heard it at the first one, but that's weird. I'm going to continue trying throughout the night. I'm wondering if the because it can be a stable signal. If you guys are hearing a stable signal, that's not the signal. I'm going to have you guys listen again what it sounds like. Okay, it's very important, because that's what you should be hearing. If you hear a very stable CW signal, it ain't that. This is what it sounds like, and they have a sample here. Look. You see how it moves in frequency, it wobbles. That's what we heard at 23. I actually heard exactly that at 23 UTC. And I haven't heard that since. If what you hear is a very stable CW signal, that's a ham station. It sounds like a Doppler shift indeed. No, on 1819 almost 1820 right now. I think it's W1AW. The call sign that I heard seems to be a W1AW. Anyways, we're going to continue monitoring. I'm going to continue throughout the night to monitor for sure. So we're going to check. We're going to check that out. Did you hear it, Jim's radio check? Did you hear it with the kind of the shifting tone? So yeah, there's somebody on 1821, and there's some. I think it's W1AW that just started their broadcast. And I think it's something to monitor through the night and see if we can hear it again the way it was. Yeah, Dimitri, they've used. They actually kind of recreated. They've recreated a replica of the original transmitter. So it actually kind of warbles and shifts in tone. So it's kind of a replica of the original transmitter from the yeah, it's supposed to be 1820 kilohertz. Continue monitoring, guys. It's every 15 minutes. So remember, at the top of the hour, at 15, 30, 45, top of the hour. That's their schedule. And this goes on up to 0345 UTC tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. So they're supposed to be on. So and like they said, it's 1820 plus or minus. That depends on the probably on the activity of the band. So hey guys, I'm gonna go and cook myself some food because I'm hungry. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. 3 hours and 30 minutes, not too bad. Always cool to be here. Stay safe. Continue monitoring, guys. The 160 meter band had around 1820, 1821 kilohertz, and see if you can actually hear it. And of course, 0 hours UTC, and 23 minutes from now, you will have the official SWL channel net on 80 meters, 3817 plus or minus, depending on the activity. So take care, everyone, and stay safe. And of course, continue monitoring what's happening on the bands. And this is Victor Echo 2, Zulu India, saying good night, everyone. Stay safe and see you soon, my friends, on, once again, the Shortwave Show.